let's start. Hello guys, how are you doing today? Now this is my new video, and today I want to speak about some of my favourite stories of all time in the entirety of Doctor Who history. And these stories to me mean a lot to me, for the fact that they're from my favourite Doctor's era, and it's the fact that they have my favourite enemies in. I love the locations, and they're just generally creepy and most atmospheric episodes of all time. And the stories I want to speak about today are The Abominable Snowman, The Web of Fear. Now let's start with my absolute favourite and the first one in this two-parter of stories, which is The Abominable Snowman. Now this is the Target novelisation, and I have the audio CD as you noticed. Now The Abominable Snowman aired from the 30th of September to the 4th of November back in 1967, and this is a 6-part story, but unfortunately a lot of the stories are missing. Just for the fact that episode 1, 3, 4, 5 and 6 are at the BBC archives completely, and we only have episode 2 available. Now this story was written by Marvin Haseman and Henry Lincoln, and what can I say, I absolutely adore this story. The thing is, I want to start with the Yeti, as they're probably my favourite thing about the story completely. I love the Yeti as a villain. I think they're so much like the Ood in the sense of the fact that they can be taken over so easy. The fact that they look like such nice creatures, and inside the robots obviously, but you look like you'd hug them. But here's the thing, when they're chasing after you trying to kill you, you don't really want to be in that position, because honestly I wouldn't want to see them in a dark night. And that is one thing I have to compliment about this story, The Abominable Snowman. The fact that its landscape and how the Yeti and that fit in it so well. The fact that this massive free space, and in episode 2, the only surviving episode out of the serial, it clearly shows all of this when Jamie and Victoria run away from them. And it's so good because it's such an open free space, and it really shows them in the light of who they truly are. This episode also introduces one of the best side characters in a lot of the classic Who and probably New Who history, in my honest opinion, and that is Professor Travis. At the start of the story, he is a villain. He really doesn't trust the Doctor after his friend was brutally murdered by one of the Yetis. But we grow to love this character as he realises maybe the Doctor isn't as bad as we think. Maybe he is a great character, and he actually does return in The Web of Fear, which I'll get to later. And while we're on about first appearances, let's speak about the Great Intelligence. Now, this is their first ever story in Doctor Who, and I have to say, this is one of their best out of the only few stories they have had. Yes, it may be missing, but the fact that they are threatening, the way they control the Yeti, the way they make them do these brutal things, and the twists we have in this story with them, they are truly threatening. And their next story as well continues this threatening path, which I absolutely adore. I seriously hope this story gets found, or if not found, animated as a Power of Daleks was. And if it is, either way I'm going to be happy because I adore this story. I've listened to that audio CD so much, and I've read the Target novelisation, and it is so good to listen to. I seriously have to recommend this story just for the fact that it's suspenseful, it introduces some amazing characters, and it's just a great story in general. So let's move on to the sequel to The Abominable Snowman, The Web of Fear.